Good morning, and thanks for tuning in to Notations of a Nappy Girl, episode 47. I know I've been away for a couple of weeks, a lot of stuff going on, doing a couple of things. For those of you who have inquired, hopefully the book will be out. I want to say January, not exactly sure. Just sent the manuscript to the publisher, so hope they accept it. Hope all that goes great. Um, Thanks to you all who sent me well wishes over the past weekend. It was indeed a very busy weekend. I got married, yay! But I'm still gonna do my videos, still gonna give my advice because nothing in life is perfect, even when it comes to relationships. So you may get married, engaged, what have you, but you still got to keep those doors of communication open. You still got to keep working on things to make sure that they work. What I want to talk about today is an associate of mine posted a quote, I guess, on their Facebook page, and they singled me out and said that this would be a good topic. And the topic itself was about self worth and how nobody's self worth should be directly afflicted by what someone else thinks of them. And I think that's an awesome topic. So I'll touch on it briefly without going too long today. I'm trying to get to the point where I'm streamlining these to where they are back to my original vision of 2 to 3 minutes, 4 minutes max. Um, Self worth. Two words mean a whole lot: self and worth. Okay, self, when you put that before anything, whether it's self esteem, self validation, self affirmation, self worth, no matter what, the fundamental point of that statement is self. Because that's where your perception comes from. And because you can only live for you and you can only see you from your point of view, your self image, your self worth, your self descriptor, I guess I could say, is what means the world, not what the next person thinks. Because at the end of the day, we cannot be everything to everybody. And a lot of times we can't be the things we want to be to the people who we care about the most because we have stopped loving ourselves. We have stopped motivating ourselves to be who we want to be. And instead, we're constantly running this crazy rat race trying to live up to everybody else's expectations. Let me tell you what's wrong with that. Nobody's expectation of you is going to meet your expectation of self. You can't read anybody's mind. Somebody can tell you who they want you to be or who they need you to be, but you can't change you for them. I mean, you can fundamentally, but in the long run, if you change yourself too much and you forget who you are and why you love you, to some degree you'll begin to resent that situation, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, what have you. You'll begin to resent that situation because you're no longer being true to you. And that's the thing. Worth, esteem, image, descriptors, those are all just adjectives that can be thrown around with any prefix. But when it comes to self, self has to value self over anybody else. So many times I see women get into relationships with men or women, whatever their preference is, and they say, oh, well, I have to change this about me. You might have a curvy girl. I'll use that as an example. Voluptuous, curvy, thick, whatever you want to call it. And she could be a diva and she could have all the self confidence in the world because she believes in her perception of self. And then she gets with somebody and they say, well, I normally don't date big girls. Or they say, oh, babe, you can lose a couple of little pounds. And then she begins on this journey because she wants to please that person. She is no longer in the business of pleasing self, which you should never get out of. That business never goes out. It never closes until you die. But she begins to change things. She changes up her eating. She gets to jogging and working out. And I'm using that as an example because I've lived that. And the funny thing is she could have been healthy as a freaking horse. Now, for those of you who have followed my videos and those of you who are personal friends, I'm going to find some pictures. But I used to be almost 400 pounds. And when I was at that size, baby, You couldn't tell me nothing. I thought I was the high steppingest, diva-fied, divalicious, thick chick, big girl, whatever. I had every fancy title for it. And the funny thing is my self-image was intact. I knew I was fine. I knew I was sexy. At the same time, what my daddy always taught me kicked in. I knew I may not be everybody's cup of tea, but for that one person out there who was meant for me, I would be perfect. But what I did, instead of waiting for that perfect person, I settled on those in between people. And those were the people who said, oh, well, babe, you could be a little bit smaller. Oh, babe, you sexy, but you a little big. So then it started sinking in. Then you see society's view on the TV, the little skinny, little thin models. They got the big bubble butt. I had no booty. You got the big bubble butt and the boobies, but nothing in the waist, about that big. And I started to think, this is what I need to be. This is how I need to look for people to accept me, for somebody to want me, for somebody to love me, for somebody to want to take me out in public. That's what I started to believe. And it diminished my self-esteem, my self-value, my self-worth, to the point where I was depressed, I was sad, I was irritable, I was cranky, I was becoming a recluse. And the funny thing is I walked into a doctor's office, and it wasn't until I saw myself on television that I said, okay, yeah, I'm a little big. Let me go do something about that. And I walked into a doctor's office and they ran like 7 medical tests on me. And the guy told me, well, if you want weight loss surgery, you're going to have to pay for it yourself because you don't have any illnesses. You don't have any, what do they call it, comorbidities, no high blood pressure, no joint pain, no sleep apnea, no psychological issues, no pulmonary issues, even though I'm a smoker. Lung capacity was perfect. You don't have anything wrong with you. So your insurance is not going to pay for it. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. Insurance is saying I'm healthy, being fat. But the people I like, they say that I'm not attractive because I'm fat. What did I do? I clunked down $12,000, got the surgery, much smaller, much happier. But through that journey, as I started losing the weight, I started dropping people. I lost pounds. I lost people. I lost admirers. I lost whatever, because then I started to come full circle back to that diva, back to that girl that had all the confidence in the world, back to the little girl who daddy told her every single day that even though she was dark, even though her hair was curly, even though it was short, and even though she was a little chunky, that she was beautiful and that somebody would love her. And with that validation that I got at home, when I got back to my roots, I stopped needing external validation. I stopped needing what everybody else saw, and I fell in love with the person I saw in the mirror. Flaws and all, bumps, lumps, curves, it did not matter. She became a princess in my eyes. And that's what I'm saying. We're seeing these young girls out here killing themselves because they're too dark. They're too light. They're too skinny. They're too heavy. We have websites devoted to a disease, not helping the disease, but perpetuating the disease. And I won't say the name of it, but it's a website that's designed for anorexic girls to go and get validation that they look good at 80 pounds. I'm sorry. Unless you're a 12-year-old, not even 12, 10. That's the only time you look good at 90 pounds to me. I'm sorry. Everybody does not have to be thick. You can be skinny, but not deathly thin. When I see celebrities and grown women weighing in at 80 and 90 pounds, that scares me because that's not healthy. You're losing muscle mass. You're losing definition. You're basically killing yourself because your body starts to eat itself. And it's the same thing with our boys. I stay on my son all the time. He's not conceited. But every day since he popped out the womb, I've told him, you are handsome. You are a proud black man. You will be a productive member of society. Because boys go through it too, and we often overlook that. I didn't want him to have a head this big, like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm sexy. No, I wanted him to say, hey, I'm good, just the way I am. And I don't have to compete with anybody for anybody else's attention, because a person whose attention I'm supposed to warrant, I will get it. My exterior appearance has nothing to do with that. It is my personality. It is my mind. It is my thought process. It is how I treat people. That is what gets somebody drawn into you. So I say all that to say this: self is self. And you have to love self completely, unbiased. Just, oh my God, so all enveloping. You have to have that love for self before anybody else will have that love for you. So that's it for today. And I hit the 10-minute mark. I missed you guys. I'm back. Okay. Peace and blessings. Be good.